Hi there, my name is Aaron Short and welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'm talking about the Sunnaudio Stage DI-2 Prestine Preamp. So I'm very happy to have another product from Sunnaudio on the show today. I love their products, they make some great stuff. I recently reviewed a pedal for electric and also their dual preamp for acoustic guitar, which I really loved, and I'll put a link to those reviews down below. But we have a very exciting new product here. This has been causing quite a stir on the acoustic guitar forum, and for very good reason. This is a very small and compact DI. Now I know what you're thinking, another DI preamp pedal. Yes, but this is seriously worth considering, and today I'm going to show you why. Let's start with a rundown of the features included, and I'll show you some demos from different acoustic guitars and pickups. I'll put timestamps down below, so you can fast forward if you need to. But if you're new here, please subscribe and ring the bell. I really would appreciate it. So, here it is. Let me tell you what I love about this pedal and this preamp. First of all, it's incredibly lightweight. That may sound silly, but it's really important. You want something that you can carry around with you at all times, especially if your guitar relies on a preamp at all times. You want to show up to the open mic or the gig, pull out the preamp, plug in and go. The weight of this and the fact that it can be operated by phantom power, a power supply or battery makes for a great unit. And that battery life is around 80 hours. I think that's really important as well for a preamp. So it's light, you can carry it everywhere you go, and it's always going to be with you. I think that's obviously important if you rely on something like this. Now, onto the features. Some other preamps do not have many features. They simply have the ability to act as a preamp with maybe some basic tone controls. This has some very nice included features to help you shape your tone before it hits the mixing console. So let's go in for a close-up. As you can see, we have a boost and a mute. They have these very nice button toppers that the other pedals had. These can be removed, and you might be thinking those switches are very close together. I thought that as well, but what you could do is you could remove one of the covers and then one would be higher than the other. So for example, I don't use a mute that often. I would use the boost a lot. So I might remove the cover from the mute. I think it was worth them doing this to keep the size of the pedal very small. Now, as you can see, it can be powered by 48 volt phantom power. That's great. If your console has it, you will save battery life. But like I said, keep a battery in here because then you just throw it on the floor and you go, and it's got 80 hours of battery life, which is really cool. So onto our tone shaping controls here. We have treble, middle, and bass. Some pedals only have a tone control. We have a 3-band EQ here. And what you must note is that the mid control can be adjusted. If you take the back of the pedal off, there's 4 screws on the back, and I'll show you this later on, you can actually adjust where the mid-range lays. So it's anywhere from around kind of 700 to 1.7K. And you can adjust that for your guitar because all guitars might be different. I would say start with it where it is from the factory, and then if you need to make some changes, you can try that later on. But that 3-band EQ is very powerful. Also, if you have a pickup that needs some more presence, there's a presence switch inside the pedal, which you can turn on. In my tests of the K&K, it does lack some high end, and that should bring that back again. We'll try that out later. We also have a high pass filter. So this will cut some of that low end rumble. So this in conjunction with the bass control is extremely powerful here. As you can see, it goes from 40 all the way to 220. I'll be using this with the K&K. I've often had problems with low end feedback from a K&K. So that high pass filter in conjunction with the bass control should alleviate any issues with that. There's the boost control. As you can see, it's 0 to 8 dB. This can either be used to boost for a solo or fingerstyle, or if you happen to have a very, very low output pickup, you could turn the volume of the pedal to maximum, and you could turn the boost to maximum, and you could turn the boost on. That will give you another 8 dB. That should be plenty for any low output pickup. You'll probably never need to do that, but again, it's nice to know you have that option. So for inputs and outputs, you can see we have our guitar in and our power in. There's also an effects loop, which I won't be showing today, but it's great that it's there. And then we have an output, which is your standard 1/4 inch, and an XLR balanced output. And you can use both of these at the same time. Hopefully you can see now what I mean when I say this is full of features. It's really, really, really impressive. So that's everything there, as you can see. I'm going to remove the back and show you what's inside the pedal, because this is very important as well. There's some features inside. Some people have said that this could be easier to do because you might want to tweak on the gig. I think their intention was that you set this and then forget it. So I might just leave one screw in there like I have today, and then at the gig I could easily remove it and make some changes if needed. Once I've settled on the sound that I need for my particular guitar, then I can put the cover back on again. So there's the metal cover. Always great quality stuff here from Sunnaudio. And that's the inside. I think it's worth looking at the inside of gear because you can see it's very well made. This stuff is important. Here's my battery. You know what? I want to let you know I always use lithium batteries. They seem to last a lot longer. With this lithium battery, I expect this to last way over 100 hours. If you don't use lithium batteries in your pedals, I suggest that you do. Obviously, always check with the manufacturer. That's okay. I've never had an issue, but always check. I'll put an Amazon affiliate link below to where you can buy these batteries. I absolutely love them, and I use them in all my gear. On a side note to that, some guitars that have batteries that rattle inside can be fixed by using these slightly larger batteries. They're really great. So, take a look at that build. It's absolutely fantastic. It's clean. Everything looks very high quality. I love it. And can you see just here? There's that red switch. So, the 1 meg is your impedance. Now, when that's off, it's 5 meg, which is a nice impedance for most pickups. The K&K pickup likes 1 meg, and we won't go into all the details of that today. You can watch my other videos about the K&K pickup for that. But when you're using the K&K, I would suggest you switch that on. And also maybe the presence control as well, because I do find the K&K lacks a bit of high end that other pickups have. So if you turn those two on, you should get a great sound from the K&K. With other pickups like the Trance, Amulet, or the Dazzo, you could turn those off. Obviously, do what works for you. At the very top, you can see that mid-range sweep, so we can adjust the mid-range frequency. I won't do that today, but I think it's so great they've given us the flexibility to do that. There's so many features in this little pedal that will go everywhere with you. I just think every acoustic guitarist or electric guitarist should probably own one of these because it just seems to do everything in such a small package. So I've set those controls. Let's flip it back over again. And I think I covered everything. Take a look at the manual. It's on their website. Read all the details about this pedal. But let's go into some demos. I'm going to grab some guitars and we're going to try some pickups because at the end of the day, the sound is what we're here for, right? Now let's start with the K&K. The K&K pickup is very affordable. It's incredibly popular. It's a great pickup. But I have had the most issues with this on a loud stage, and usually because of the low end rumble. Well, the great thing with this is you can set that impedance, you can boost that presence, you can use the EQ, and you can use the high pass filter. Now, I don't expect to have any problems with feedback today because I'm going direct into my recording interface, but let me show you what you could do if you did have those issues on the stage. Let's grab the K&K and the HD-28. All right, so here's the K&K. This is an HD-28 Martin from Maury's Music. And the thing is, the Dreadnoughts can have feedback with the K&K. In fact, any guitar can. Because remember, the soundboard transducer is picking up sound from the top of the guitar. It's getting a lot of information, and they are more prone to feedback. They can also sound very natural, though. So what we have here is the Prestine preamp going straight into my Apollo Twin X interface via Mogami cable. I like to use the XLR cables, of course, when I can. It's a balanced signal. As you can hear, there's no noise. I'll just turn this vocal mic off. To me, that's very important that the preamp is quiet and clean, and this certainly is. No surprise there. It's great. Now, I've got the 1 meg switch on. I've got the presence on. Everything is going to be flat, and I'm going to just play the guitar. And let's see what we think of the tone here. Put some good headphones on or use studio monitors and see what you think of this. Remember, when I'm playing, the vocal mic will be turned off. I think that's great. That's a very natural sound. I'm very happy with that. What I will now do is I will cut a little bit of mid, as I often do, boost a little bit of treble, as I often do, and I'll just bring the high pass filter up a little bit just to remove some of those really, really low rumbly notes and sounds. And let's take a listen to that. I think it sounds great. I want to say if you have a K&K, this thing is essential. So this is the Martin D-28. This doesn't have the scallop bracing. This has a much more mid-focus sound with less low end, in my opinion. And this is the active Trance Amulet installed by Maury at Maury's Music. I have to say he did a great job of it. And there's already an active preamp in here with a kind of treble and bass control, so the tone is more even to me, but there's not a mid control or a mute or a boost function, so I would still find this pedal useful even with this guitar. Let's see what it sounds like. So again, this is everything flat right now. Now I like this pickup quite a bit. I have turned the internal trims off again, so there's no presence boost, and we're back to the 5 meg input impedance, which doesn't really matter because, again, the active preamp in here is kind of correcting the input impedance anyway, but there's no presence boost because I find this quite bright anyway. What I would do is maybe boost the bass slightly and cut some mids slightly, just to give a bit more of that HD-28 type sound. Let's see if that works. So yeah, not quite as big a difference as with the K&K. The K&K really benefits from those internal controls and the EQ. But like I said, once you get onto a noisy stage, you're still going to want to use that high pass filter, and you can still use your tone controls to shape your tone. So I still find this useful even with a guitar with an active preamp. But I think the Trance sounds great, and I think that helps you shape the sound even more. So that's really cool. Now, one more active guitar would be something like a Baggs Anthem. Do you need this with that? Because that's already got a dual source pickup inside with a battery and a microphone and everything else. Do you really need a preamp like this when you already have a preamp like the Baggs Anthem? Well, let's find out. Let's check out the Baggs Anthem next. So here is the HDC Baggs Anthem. I love this guitar. It's got the cutaway. It's basically an HD-28 with a cutaway, and the Baggs Anthem, which is a great system with the microphone and the undersaddle pickup. So do you need another preamp if you have a preamp already? Well, they were very clever with the Stage DI-2 because they added those tone controls. So yes, maybe we will want to use those with this as an EQ solution. Let's see. The first thing you'll notice is I've turned the volume up quite a little bit. It's gone up about a notch there, or even 2, because this version of the Anthem is quite low output compared to the Anthem SL and even the passive K&K, which is kind of weird, right? It's not a problem, but that's another great thing with the Stage DI-2. It allows you to add that gain before it hits your mixer. So that's a good feature of that. I've turned that up here, and let's just see what it sounds like going straight through. In my years of gigging, I've not really had an issue with feedback from these pickups, but it's nice to have the controls there if you need to use them for some reason, like you're on a really loud stage or they've got big subwoofers or something. You could still use the high pass cut. I find with this, especially at low volumes, maybe playing at home through a small PA system, I often want to boost the trebles, maybe engage that presence switch inside and cut some mids. I like to brighten the sound. It's very important to remember about playing at different levels, different volumes. If you play at really low volume, you hear a lot of low end from your guitar and the speakers will sound kind of dull. So to compensate, you might cut the bass and boost the treble. This is only for you though. This is while you're playing at home because you're naturally hearing the sound of the guitar. When you're on stage, you will not hear the sound of the guitar, and therefore you won't ever want to do that. It will sound terrible, but you might want to even boost the bass at loud volume. So again, this EQ section was very clever on Sunnaudio's part. Let's see what happens then if we did boost the treble to get more of a bright sound from the pickup. I'll just go through the whole range so you can hear what it does from 0 to 10. So I definitely want to leave the mids where they are, even the bass. It's just that high end at low volume in the apartment without the headphones in would be really, really useful to me. As you can hear, it might be a bit too much right now, but be very useful in the room. So one more time. Even if your guitar has a preamp and you don't use any of the functions on the pedal, you can still use the mute and the boost function. So I think that's really cool. Some people buy a pedal just as a solo boost, which this is right here. So for my last pickup, I'm going to check out the Dazzo in a small body Martin guitar, because Dazzo actually work with Sunnaudio, and this preamp was optimized for the Dazzo. So we have to check that out before we go. Let's grab that guitar. Okay, so last but certainly not least, this is a 0018 Martin with the Dazzo pickup. You can see the sticker inside. This was actually installed by Teddy himself from Dazzo, and the Dazzo is made in conjunction with Sunnaudio preamps to work very well together. So again, the settings are all from the factory and everything is flat. And you can see I've set the level here to be the same volume as before. It's about the same as the Anthem. So let's play this one and see what we think of the sound of this going straight through into the interface. So that sounds good. Again, I would use the high pass if I needed to. I haven't tested this on a loud stage yet, so I don't know if I would need to use that or not. This guitar sounds like it's lacking a bit of presence again. You know what I might do? I might go in there and turn the presence control on. In fact, I'll do that right now. Let's see what kind of difference that made. Yeah, I like that. It's just a bit of sparkle up there. And I've got the treble control as well. I find it quite subtle, but I think that's a good thing. You can't really overdo it. Let's check this out. So I'm going to add a bit of treble and cut a little bit of mid. That sounds really good. So again, I've used some fairly drastic settings there, but I think they worked really well. This is all subjective. This is all personal opinion. You're going to want a different setting for in-ears, a different setting for studio monitors, a different setting if you're playing the guitar in the room and you can hear the guitar, a different setting if you're on a loud stage. But once again, the flexibility of the EQ here and the internal controls allows you to dial it in for the situation that you're in. It's so great that we can adjust the tone on the preamp, just in case the mixer we're going to doesn't have a tone control, or if you're on a stage and the sound engineer is across the room, you can make adjustments if needed. So to summarize, I think this is an excellent preamp, and I think all acoustic musicians can benefit from a preamp. I've tried many, and I'm sure I'll try many in the future. Of course, there's some now with impulse responses and different things like that, but I think if you just want a solid, reliable, lightweight solution that's battery powered and can go everywhere with you, then this is really important. And don't forget, they also included the effects loop here on the side, so you could also add an impulse response pedal or something to this as well. But this to me is certainly one of the best options for a acoustic DI on the market, and I highly recommend it. I've been testing it out for several weeks now. It sounds great. The most important thing to me is that it's lightweight, it has a long battery life, and it sounds very clean with no interference or weird noises. To me, they're the most important things. The features then are secondary, and they've certainly delivered with the features. So if you're interested in purchasing one of these, I'll put a link to their website below. Once again, great job, Sunnaudio. I can't wait to see what you come up with in the future. Thank you for making excellent products for guitarists. We really appreciate it. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.